welcome everyone. We have another week of Alvin High School Yellow Jacket football to talk about. I'm your host, Phil Jean, along with Coach Matthew Bass. Coach, we're going to talk about Dobie beating you guys 38-7. Unfortunately, it's your fourth straight loss. You guys dropped to 1-6 in district, 2-7 overall. Just talk a little bit about your impressions of the game.
Sure. I mean, one of the things, I will say that Dobie physically looked real impressive, but we got out there and I think we played really well. To be honest with you, regardless of the score, we left two touchdowns right there in the red zone. We turned the ball over on the 3-yard line twice. So that's a tough thing to do. Just a lot of little things that we could have fixed. We had some real opportunities to win that game, and we just didn't capitalize. So the score may say 38-7, but there was a lot of things in there that could have turned that game completely different.
Yeah, you guys had a total of 4 turnovers, 3 fumbles lost. That's always going to be tough to overcome. How did you feel about the passing game, considering that the run game did absolutely nothing, 26 carries, minus 13 yards?
Right.
Hard to be throwing when you're not able to run the ball.
Sure, and that's one of the things we've talked about is design run right now. We're not very good at design run. If we're going to run just zone or just stretch, we have to make people respect all aspects. Give the quarterback the ability to read the outside backer or read the end and play off of that. And so we did a lot of RPO scheme. And so a lot of the stuff that we did, there was an option to give the ball, but we like what we saw out there. And so I think right now that's where we are, is we have a pretty good operator at quarterback, giving him the ability to either give by what he sees or pull it down and throw or run, I think gives us our best bet offensively.
Okay, sounds good. Speaking of offensively, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come right back and take a look at the offensive side of the ball, take a look at those offensive plays. Stick with us. All right, welcome back, Coach. Let's take a look at the offensive side of the ball. Anthony DeSanto had a pretty good game, 167 yards passing. Let's take a look at some of the throws that he was able to engineer.
Absolutely. So this is one of the first plays of the game. We put in this zing motion where the Z comes all the way in. We did this against Dobie because they like to run man coverage. We get them messed up a little bit here. Hayden Perkins, gets past the secondary a little bit. Nice post route. Pretty good way to open up the first drive.
Yeah, that's a 40-yard gain. Let's take a look at the next play.
Same concept here, right? It's going back to Perkins, but now he's running a stick route. Really like his ability of having sure hands, getting up the field a little yard after contact set up here. But once again, we're giving him a run up front, so the inside backers, outside backers got to hold a little bit, and we're really stressing out that secondary.
So Perkins had 2 grabs for 57 yards. We see both of them right there. Let's take a look at the next play.
Once again, same setup here. We're giving levels. We got a little RPO scheme going. It's a great catch, I believe, by Colin Bro here. Giving him that stack look, really making him make decisions. We end up running a slot fade with a deep out, a sail route, beat him on his leverage. Great pass, great catch.
Colin Bro, very effective on the day, 4 receptions for 61 yards. All right, let's take a look at the next play.
One of the things that I thought that I really enjoyed about this game that I hadn't seen really thus far was DeSanto's ability to navigate when the pocket collapses and make some plays with his feet. He's not a guy that wants to go burn down the field, right? He wants to scramble enough to get people open. Connects with Darion Cannon here for a big gain.
Well, that's what you got to like when you're able to scramble around and keep your head up and still look to see for those open targets, right?
Absolutely.
All right, let's take a look at the offensive player of the game. And we kind of talked a lot about him. We showed him a lot, made some great throws. 13 of 22, 167 yards. He did have the 1 interception, but like you said, he was gritty in there. And he's kind of obviously as well bounced back a little bit because I remember you a couple of games ago trying out another player at that position. So, I mean, he's kind of taking the charge, right?
Yeah, and that's one of the things is you can't ever be afraid to swap things up when you need to. I've kind of done that my whole career. That we're gonna put the best 11 on the grass. And for a while there, he wasn't producing what I thought he needed to. We brought another kid in. They battled out a little bit, and I've seen some improvement. Not only just him, but the other kid as well. Really making us more competitive. And I think we're starting to, albeit late in the season, we're starting to gain traction offensively, up front, receiver core, quarterback, running back. And so I'm really liking the progress we're making. We have to figure out, right, we have to stop turning the ball over. We have to protect the football. We talked about that this week, that offensively we can't have 4 turnovers and expect to win. I've done it before, but that is very, very, very rare. We got to protect the football because we're leaving stuff on the field. But really overall, happy with where we're at. Not content, right? But happy.
Seeing the progress, exactly.
Absolutely.
All right, let's take a look now at the defensive side of the ball. This time, not as many missed tackles, so you got to enjoy that. There was only 10 missed tackles in this game. Let's
Right.
take a look at the first defensive play of the game, or defensive highlight of the game here.
You know, one of the things about this week is I wanted to get back to being strong in the front 7 and making them get sideline to sideline on us. You know, that's one of the things that I talked about when we got here is we got to be physical inside the tackles. I thought we did a great job with that this week. Now, our edge protection, there's some room for improvement. Obviously, you know, letting people get behind us in the secondary, we need to work on that. But I thought we did a great job overall of being physical up front. Here's Blaine Bingham, the sophomore, triggering off of the B-back here, making a great play, driving his feet, gang tackle with, I believe that's Turtle Orozco. So good little play there with Turtle setting that edge. And that's one of the things that we had issues throughout the night is we didn't get that edge set. So when you see clips like this, we know that it can be done. We just got to work on consistency.
And you got to like to see a defensive back stepping up that way.
Absolutely.
Right? All right, let's take a look at the next play.
We talk about physicality in the front 7. You know, these guys in the front, they don't get a lot of love a lot of times, right? They're doing a lot of the grunt work, but you know, nothing to show for, right? This is a pretty good job by Baez. I don't really like his ability of getting pushed off the line, but he does get extension, right? Comes off a block, makes a play for about a 1-yard gain right there with Turtle Orozco again.
All right, let's take a look at the next play.
You know, this guy here, Dean, right? He's probably one of our best, if not our best, consistent-wise defensive lineman. And he doesn't really say much. He just kind of does his job. Great play here. Splits a double team, hits the running back right in the face, and I believe this is a -1, -2-yard tackle here. Really, really excited to see. And the pop you heard on the sideline, this is a really, really good hit.
Yeah, especially when you're able to cut through 2 linemen right there in the double
Absolutely.
team. So, great play there. All right, let's take a look at the next play.
This is a kid here. This is Evans. Kind of has done a little bit of everything. Played some corner, played some safety. One of those kids that's coming waiting his turn a little bit. Got the nod this week to play a little bit more, and I really enjoyed his physicality. I would have rather had him run his feet. But hey, wrap up, hold on, and wait for everybody else to get there. We all swarm, right, get him down. This is the type of football that if we can be consistent defensively and make them get out of their stuff, this is what we can do. Because we did. We made them get out of their wing tee, slot tee, whatever it is. Offensive style, they got into the gun, they had to stretch us out, they had to throw it. So it's good to see the improvement of our guys overall.
Now, was this a designated blitz, or is this just quick recognition on his part?
So that's just quick recognition on 35's part. He does not have a blitz scheme from the safeties. So that's just him filling and reading and playing football.
So you got to love that quick
Absolutely.
recognition. All right, let's take a look at the defensive player of the game. And it's a name we've seen quite a few times. Trace Martinez, I mean, he kind of does it all. Again,
Right.
6 tackles, 2 assists, gets the QB pressure. It's what you want to see from your senior, right?
Sure. I mean, it's like the Twilight Zone, right? I mean, it seems like every week, you know, Trace Martinez is the defensive MVP, but, you know, players make plays, and Trace has done a great job for us. He's that kid that I have not worried about all season. Is this kid going to come out there ready to play? Whether it's practice, whether it's 5th period in the weight room, whether it's in the game. He is a even-keeled, steady Eddie type kid that absolutely busts his butts. And I mean, I truly would love to have a lot more Trace Martinez's.
Well, and he's got to be the perfect role model for some of the younger guys, because obviously this is a young squad. So
Absolutely.
they get to see the effort that he puts in and the way he does it, and can emulate what he does.
Right, and I think he's done a good job of emulating what a senior leader is supposed to look like.
Perfect. All right, let's take a look now at the special teams. We'll talk about a special player. Let's go down to the special teams.
All right, this is an interesting little setup here. Had a new kicker this week. Kind of worried about his ankle. Pre-game, he said, "I don't know, Coach, if I'm going to kick or not." He ends up kicking anyways and does a heck of a job for us. Excuse me.
Yeah.
On the other side of this.
I know.
So this is the first KOR. Oh my goodness. Now we will get there.
We'll get there.
But
the jerseys look the same.
Yes, they do.
I can't blame you.
And,
All right.
and that was wild in pregame. I'm looking over at their cheerleaders and I'm like, why are they on that? Oh wait, okay, that's a Longhorn. But this actually, I'm standing about the 50, 45 yard line and I'm seeing two guys on the edge fly down. I'm like, God, we got to cover those guys. Well, here comes the cleanup block off the edge. We kick them just in time, hit right inside of that. Great return here. This is one of the teams that we've had that has just done nothing but progress every week. Really enjoy seeing how much we're moving along in special teams.
Yeah, and you got to like being able to start your drive around the 37 to 40 yard line.
Absolutely.
All right, let's take a look at the next special teams play.
Little pooch here, great return. You know, Colin Rose just a hard runner, right? I mean, for a sophomore kid to kind of do some of the things that he's doing, he's got a really bright future if he continues to grow.
Well, and you got to like it as well because he's contributing to the main offense, but does not shirk his abilities to play on the special teams.
Absolutely.
All right, let's take a look at the next play.
Little surprise onside here. It's a pretty good little onside kick. Yeah, it's a little slow there, but that's crossing the 50-yard line. Great decision-making skills here to get on that ball and get it down. This was a pretty pivotal moment for us, too, to be able to recover that ball.
Yeah, that's a great recognition because, like you said, it's looking like it might not go the 10 yards, so he could opt not to try and just avoid it,
Right.
But instead just chooses to fall on it and make a play.
Absolutely.
All right, let's take a look at the last special teams play of our highlight reel.
So we talk about our kicker here. You know, first game on varsity was a JV kicker for us last week. Had a bad ankle going into the game, was kind of worried about, you know, coming out there and kicking. And he said, hey man, you'll be good, rest up, let's tape you up, this, that, and the other. We go down, we score. He kicks a perfect extra point right through the middle. Really, really excited for him. He's done a really good job for us.
Awesome. All right, well, there we have it. Right down the middle. You gotta love it. All right, you know what? We're gonna be finished up with this segment, but we're gonna look ahead to the next week, so stick with us. Keep it right here. All right, welcome back. Coach, just one more to go. So
Yes, sir.
you guys are hosting Pasadena Memorial. What are you looking to do? I mean, obviously, you want to end the losing streak, but
Sure.
just kind of tell us what you're kind of expecting from Pasadena Memorial.
You know, I mean, just in general, whether you look at kids, you look at scheme, we're pretty even. I would say athletically coached well. They're hungry. You know, they came out and they beat Rayburn last week pretty good. So they're excited. I mean, we're excited too. And so the biggest thing is both teams have no week 12. We're both out, and so this is more of a what can you do, right? What do you do whenever this game means nothing past winning this game, right? There's no playoff implications, and so really excited for our kids to come out and compete. I think that's the big thing here. You know, we talked about in FCA this morning about getting up and you know, talked about Moses and things of this nature about when they get to the Red Sea and the ocean's flat and the Egyptians are coming. What did they do, right? He goes down to pray, and in the Bible, God says, stop praying, get up and march. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things is we got to put the work in. It's not like, man, I hope we can take care of these guys. You know, work your butt off in practice. I think our kids are ready to play and put a show on for us at home. Because that's one of the things we talked about is there's going to be a lot of kids in this team, seniors in particular. This may be their last ever football game to play in their entire life. You know, as a senior in college, I lost my last game I ever played, and that's one of the worst feelings. I'll never get that back. Now, I won my last high school game. Same situation. We had no playoff implications, but we came out and we played football and got after Clear Brook at the time. And so challenging those kids to come out, play for each other, right? Play for this team and to set that foundation moving forward.
And what kind of fan support do you want to see for this final game?
You know, I mean, I think the fans have been pretty good all along. You know, I think the biggest thing is just to continue to support what we're doing. You know, we're here to get out where it needs to be, and we're making strides, right? Brand new offense, brand new defense. We're making strides. You know, continue to be in there, be with your student athletes, come support us, right? Because we will get there one way or another, I promise you.
All right, sounds good. All right, you heard it. It's going to be Friday, November 7th, Pasadena Memorial, right here at Memorial Stadium. So go check it out. It's going to be the last game for Alvin High School, and then we'll just have one more wrap-up show that you can tune into. So thanks for joining us, and as always, Coach.
Jacket pride never dies.
It is. See you next week.